This channel has really just become a hate page for Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump's press secretary recently, and I hope y'all are on board with that because she is truly bad at her job. She is such a disingenuous liar, advocating on behalf of the dangerous policies of Elon Musk and Donald Trump, all the disgusting things this administration has done, and she's just not good at it. She's not good at the lies. She's not good at pushback, and whenever she gets pushed back, she crumbles, which is exactly what we saw multiple times today, but in one instance in which she just couldn't even come up with a lie to respond to Elon Musk's latest scandal. It was hysterical to watch. I am enjoying watching her crumble, and we are going to get into all of it, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me now. Let's get into this first question she was asked, and really just started happen back at the Reporter. It was a mess.
Are excited.
So some of those cabinet members were caught off guard by the email from
Nobody
Saturday.
was caught off guard.
A few departments said they were caught off guard. The FBI was, the DOJ was.
Did anonymous sources say that, or did the cabinet secretary say that?
The cabinet secretaries and others have said that they were not aware that this was happening. So I'm wondering, will there be a give and take tomorrow at the cabinet meeting? Is Elon Musk or the president open to any type of dialogue about who is actually in charge of the chain of command of these workers?
I would reject the premise of your question, Jeff. The cabinet secretaries have not said that. I know anonymous sources, probably career bureaucrats, have leaked that to many of you in this room. But as I said at the beginning of this press conference, everybody is working as one team, and the president respects the decisions of his cabinet secretaries to tell his staff, their staff, not to respond to that email because they did so out of interests of national security, and they don't want to obviously risk confidential information. It's pretty common sense. Dasha.
She is just incredibly unprepared, and they're saying, oh, is this an anonymous source? Is that who said it? No, this was directly from the cabinet officials who have made big news by publicly opposing Elon Musk again and again, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard Cash, Patel saying they won't comply with the co-president. She's just bad at this. She's just not good. I remember on the first day, I don't even know who she was trying to make fun of or say that she was better than, but she's like, well, I don't have a binder. I got all the facts up here. You don't have basic news up there. I've done 2 videos on the pushback that Elon's gotten from MAGA alone. How are you not more caught up on your administration than a couple of people covering this stuff online? She is so bad at this, and she's also just gross with her snarky responses. Listen to what she had to say about the inhumane treatment happening at Guantanamo Bay.
One related to Guantanamo Bay, the other to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I wanted to get your response to some Washington Post reporting of the migrants who stayed over at Guantanamo Bay for the last 2 weeks. They told the Post they were rarely let outside. They were shackled and placed in what they described as cages and alleged that they were not treated as human beings. Does the White House have any response to those conditions?
At Guantanamo Bay? It's a promise the president campaigned on, that if you invade our nation's borders, if you break our country's laws, and if then you further commit heinous, brutal crimes in the interior of our country, like raping and murdering innocent, law-abiding women and girls, and committing heinous acts of violence, then you are going to be deported from this country, and you may be held at Guantanamo Bay. These are criminals we are talking about. Don't forget that. Sure.
It is just sad and gross. The contempt that this administration has for people, broadly, they just don't care, and that's part of it. They want the intimidation factor. They want people to feel unsafe in their communities. That's why it was so important that we just saw a judge strike down Donald Trump's ability to send ICE into churches, into synagogues, into places of worship. Communities should not be scared all the time because of Donald Trump and the intimidation coming from his press secretary, and you tried to go after the press even more in this clip right here.
And I think it's quite despicable to see many networks in this room who have had chyrons on their television screens labeling Mr. Bongino as a far-right podcaster. He is not. He is a former law enforcement agent. He is a former Secret Service agent who put his life on the line to protect this country, and that is why the President of the United States has entrusted him for this important role.
I know Caroline Leavitt isn't really a big fan of the pre-press or the truth, but reporting that Dan Bonino, who Donald Trump cited as a tremendous podcaster to try to bolster his bona fides for being the deputy director of the FBI, saying that guy's unqualified is not some hackish partisan statement. That's just the truth, and I know you're unfamiliar with the truth, Caroline, but maybe you should just learn a little bit about it. Maybe you should just go to Wikipedia Truth, I don't know, try to figure it out. If your boss is going to name a platform after it, then maybe you should have some understanding of it. And speaking of understanding, it's what Caroline Leavitt doesn't have. about her own administration, and this is the hilarious moment she was confronted and could not answer about a Doge scandal.
Day. Sure.
Thanks, Caroline. The president's executive order creating Doge called for the naming of a Doge administrator. Who is the Doge administrator?
So the president tasked Elon Musk to oversee the Doge effort. There are career officials and there are political appointees who are helping run Doge on a day-to-day basis. There are also individuals who have onboarded as political appointees at every agency across the board to work alongside President Trump's cabinet to find and identify waste, fraud, and abuse, and they are working on that effort every day.
So is Elon
Reagan.
Musk the administrator?
Reagan. Thanks, Caroline.
Elon Musk wrote on a sworn affidavit that he was running up Doge, and now he's not, or he is, or the person who is can't be named. They go to a different school. My girlfriend's in Canada. What is said, like, what is being said here, what is going on? They clearly don't know. She clearly doesn't know. Just the whole mess. That don't know these press conferences are so funny. Again, I know that I've played a lot of Caroline Leavitt and on this channel, but it's because she's just so bad at her job, and we have to take a little bit of enjoyment in the small things, and her big collapses are certainly those. But someone made a tweet pointing out that, like, it's all about going after the deep state with Donald Trump, but now the person in charge of Doge is an unnamed, like, shadow official. It's like, so you're creating the quote unquote deep state. These people are moronic. They are so bad at what they do, and they are creating such bad policy, which was called out this morning, my Democratic representative, Greg Kazar, and I want to check that out. It was such a perfect takedown. Let's take a look.
Joining us today, and I want to thank all of the people who across the country have been sharing their stories about how the Republican billionaire budget will hurt everyday people. Today we are here to say clearly, enough with the attacks on working people in order to fund billionaire tax cuts. I'll say it again. Enough with the attacks on working people in order to fund billionaire tax cuts. Enough to the cuts to programs that working people have earned through their hard work. Enough with the lying and the gaslighting. This is not about making government more efficient for working people. The Republican plan is about making government more efficient for big corporations and billionaires who are screwing us over. We don't need to cut Social Security. We can expand it. We don't need to cut people's health care. We can expand it. We can have a country that is better off for small business owners and for workers alike if we just tax the billionaires instead of funding the billionaires. Today, Republicans here in the House will try to pass this billionaire budget resolution. There's some, it's terrible. They're going to try, now they're going to try to talk about their complicated math or legalese, but what's going on for the everyday person is really simple. And so I want the folks watching at home to know that what House Republicans are trying to pass today is to steal from seniors, steal from children, steal from veterans, all to pay for tax cuts for the ultra-rich. That's what it is. They want to end Medicaid as we know it just to pay for tax breaks for guys like Elon Musk. The bottom line is their plan is billionaires get richer, everybody else gets screwed. Now, they think they've got a lot going for them. They've got the money, they've got the big corporations, they have the White House and the Republicans in Congress, but I don't really like their odds because House Republicans and billionaires are picking a fight with working Americans. And in a democracy, the people win. 8 years ago, when extreme Republicans had the White House and both the House and the Senate, they had the money, they had their plan to take health care away from millions of Americans and end the Affordable Care Act, but the American people won and those House Republicans lost. And we're right back in the same situation because today something is happening in America. Americans are rising up to say we want a government by and for the people, not by and for the billionaires. You see it in protests and marches and at Republican town halls all across the country. I can promise you, even though when the press go and ask some of these Republicans whether they're worried about what they're seeing at their town halls, whether they're worried about those protests, they have to lie through their teeth when they say they're not worried because we hear them in the hallway worried. They're worried because they know that they have a choice. They can either be representatives of their districts or they can act like Trump Musk employees. They have that choice. And they know that if they keep acting as Trump Musk employees, that the people in their district are going to demand a representative. Yeah. And that puts them in a tight spot. And while the Republicans say they have a majority, they're not telling the full truth there. It's a very thin majority. And if just 3 House Republicans choose to act as representatives of their districts rather than Trump Organization employees, then we can block this billionaire tax ripoff, protect working families, save our health care as we know it. Just 3 Republicans who will say, no, we're not going to kick people off of their health care to pay Elon Musk even more money.
They are bad at this, let us be honest, and I'm starting to see the tone shift that I really, really wanted from so many Democratic members of Congress, and ending any, I think John Faber called it throat clearing or legitimacy that we try to tack on to the beginnings of our criticisms of Trump or Elon saying, well, a lot of people, they do want to see more efficiency in the government. So with that said, no more with that said, we do not have to say we'd love to see Trump succeed. I called Jared Puce out for this. We'd love to see RFK Jr. succeed. We'd love to say Elon succeed. And what stealing your Social Security for a $5 trillion tax cut, bringing back polio, becoming a dictator, what L do? We want these people to succeed at. They haven't said anything, which, if accomplished, would be successful for the average American. Let's stop pretending like these are legitimate actors in a, business as usual system. It is not. And when we treat it like it is, we are putting ourselves at a true disadvantage. We got to stop it. We have to stop it. I'm serious, and I'm also kind of calling out Hockey Jeff in that, but that's a video for a different day. Seriously, people step up or do a different job. Call them out or go somewhere else. That's it. That's the end of the rant. And if you want to support more of these rants, and if you enjoy our channel as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video, and if you're stuck around at the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.